Hello students, welcome to my channel I Smile Academy. Today we will be doing gravitation part 7. For the first question, in a gravitational field at a point where the gravitational potential is 0, so we are given 4 options. Now how do we write the gravitational potential? U is given by minus gmm upon r. So what it is observed that as long as there is a mass, there will be some gravitational potential. So to make this gravitational potential equal to 0, the entire universe, no mass must be left in the universe. So in order to make this as 0, the gravitational field must be 0, else this will never become 0. Okay, so first is the option, the gravitational field is necessarily 0. So next we come to question number 2. A geostationary satellite is revolving around the Earth. To make it escape from the gravitational field of Earth, its velocity must be increased by how much percent? So what is the meaning of geostationary satellite? A geostationary satellite has a time period of 24 hours and it is used for communication purposes, and it appears to be stationary for a person who is observing it from the surface of the Earth. So if I just draw a rough diagram of this, so here if the satellite is actually at this point, so it is moving with respect to Earth in this way, so Earth is also spinning around it, so it appears stationary to a particular observer here. Now when it is moving in a circular orbit, the velocity possessed by the satellite is called the orbital velocity, which is equal to gm upon r. Now in order to make this particular satellite to escape from the Earth's gravitational field, this velocity must be equal to 2 gm upon r. Now already it is having v0 velocity, you must apply this much energy. So how do we find the amount of change? So what we do, we take ve upon v0. So here what we have is under root 2 gm upon r upon under root gm upon r. So what we are left is root 2. So root 2 is v upon v0 is root 2. Now we want to find how much amount of velocity should be increased. So for that purpose what we do is v0 upon v0 minus 1. This comes out to be root 2 minus 1. Now here what we have is ve minus v0 upon v0. Here it is root 2 is 1.414 minus 1. Now how to find the percentage? In order to find the percentage, this is actually delta v0 upon delta v upon v0. If we multiply this ve minus v0 is delta v, difference in the velocity, into 100%. So this comes out to be 0.414 into 100, because we need to find the percentage, therefore we are multiplying by 100 both the sides. So this comes out to be 41.4%. so this much amount of velocity must be increased. So here B is the answer, 41.4%. So next is question number 3. To an astronaut in a spaceship, the sky appears black, white, green or blue. Now see, to a person on Earth, I am not talking about astronaut, to a person on Earth the sky appears to be blue. Now why it appears to be blue? When the rays which are coming from the sun, let us say this is sun, towards Earth, so on Earth there is a atmosphere, so this when it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it gets scattered, so there is a scattering of light. Okay, so because of scattering, the blue light is scattered the most, so because of which the scattering of blue light is the maximum, so the sky appears blue to a person on Earth. Now on a spaceship, a person who is on a spaceship, okay, so there is no atmosphere around that person, so when sunlight comes towards that person, so because there is no scattering of light, so the sky appears to be black to a person who is on a spaceship, because there is no atmosphere to scatter the light. So the answer is the sky appears to be black for an astronaut. Next we come to question number 4. Two satellites A and B go around a planet in a circular orbits having radii 4r and r respectively. If the speed of satellite A is 3v, then speed of satellite B is. So what we are given regarding A satellite, we have two satellites A and B. The radii of A is 4r and radii of B is r. The velocity of A is 3v. We need to find the velocity of B. So the orbital velocity in general is given by gm upon r, where g is the gravitational constant, m is the mass of the planet, and r is the radii of the circular orbits. So for A, what we write for A, VA would be equal to under root g is constant, m is also constant for both of the satellites. Now here r is 4r, and for VB, velocity of the second satellite, so this is gm, it is r, so it remains r. Now we take the ratio of VB upon VA. So what we have, VB upon VA is equal to, VB is gm under root gm upon r, and this is under root gm upon 4r. So VB upon VA, we see gm gets r also gets cancelled out. So this in the denominator we have 1 upon under root 4, so when it goes up it becomes under root 4 up. Now VA is given to us, VA is given as 3V. So we substitute the value of 3 of VA. So VA is equal to 3V. It is 3V. So what we write, VB is equal to 3V times root 4. Now root 4 is 2. So this is 3 to the 6. So we have 6V. So velocity of the satellite B is 6V. Let us check the answer. 6V is given, so this is the answer, 6V. Next is question number 5. A satellite moves around the Earth in a circular orbit of radius r, making 1 revolution per day. A second satellite moving in a circular orbit moves around the Earth once in 8 days. The radius of the orbit of second satellite is. So we are given two satellites, and let us take satellite 1, and satellite 2. So what we are given, the time period of the satellite for satellite 1 the time period is 1 day, and satellite 2 the time period is 8 days. The radius, this is given as r. We need to find this radius. Now according to Kepler's law, say Kepler's second law, the square of times of period of revolution is proportional to r cube. Actually I will write it here capital R because we are dealing with capital R. So this is r cube. So t square is equal to k times r cube. So for satellite 1 what we have, t1 square is equal to k r1 cube. For second satellite we have t2 square is equal to k r2 cube. Now we take the ratio t2 upon t1. So what we get, t2 square by t1 square, k gets cancelled out, so r2 cube upon r1 cube. So we are given, we have to find r2. So r2 cube would r2 cube would be equal to r1 cube into t2 square upon t1 square. Now r1 cube is r, r1 is equal to r, so this is r1 cube. t2 is given as, let us check what t2 is given to us. t2 is actually 8 days, 8, so this becomes 8. and then T1 is 1 day. So what we are left is 8r cube. So r2 cube is 8r cube. We have to take the cube root. So if we take the cube root of this, so what we get is, to get r we have to take the cube root. So it becomes r2, which is equal to, cube root of 8 is 2 and r cube is r. So answer r2 would be equal to 2r. So 2r is given. C is the option correct. Next is question number 6. When a satellite going around the earth in a circular orbit of radius r and speed v loses some of its energy, then r and v change as. So what we are given is, a satellite is moving in a circular orbit of radius r and has some speed. It loses some energy. So what happens to r and v? Now the energy, total energy of a particular orbit of a satellite, the total energy of a satellite is given by minus g mm upon 2r. This is the total energy equation, negative gm upon 2r. So when the energy decreases, now because this is a negative and r is inversely proportional but is with a negative sign, so when t decreases, r also decreases. Okay, we can just see from this equation itself. So because of the if it had been a positive sign, then total energy decreases means r increases, but because there is a negative sign, so when total energy decreases, r also decreases, so r decreases. Now the velocity of a particular satellite which is orbiting in a radius r, in a orbit of radius r, is given by this. Now v is inversely proportional to r, so as r decreases, v increases. There is no negative sign here. So in this case, what we see is, r will decrease and v will increase. This is the option. Next is question number 7. Two satellites A and B of masses 3:1 of ratio 3:1 are in circular orbits of radii r and 4r. Then ratio of total mechanical energy of A to B is. So we are given two satellites. The ratio of the masses are given, so I will just write it as ma upon mb, capital A's. Okay, so this is equal to 3/1, and their radii of their orbits ra, the ratio is given, ra upon rb is given as r upon 4r. So what about the total energy, total mechanical energy? So this we have to find T upon TEB. Now as we know, the equation for total energy, it is equal to minus GMM upon 2R. G is constant, M is the mass of the particular planet on which these two satellites are orbiting, small m is the mass of the planet, and r is the radii of the circular orbits in which the satellites are orbiting. Now what is TEA? TEA would be minus GM, instead of M we have MA, instead of R we have 2RA, and TEB would be equal to minus GM MB upon 2RB. So after finding the total energy A and B, what we do is we take the ratio. So here we have TEA, so TEA upon TEB. Let's see what we get. So TEA is G M small m A upon 2RA upon minus GM m small b upon 2RB. So here G capital M, it gets cancelled out, negative sign and 2 also gets cancelled out, so what we are left with, small ma upon RA, and here small mb upon RB. Now we arrange the terms, so we get MA upon MB into RB upon RA. Now see, what is MB upon MA? The ratio of mass of A upon mass of B is 3 by 1, and RA upon RB is, because here R will get cancelled, 1 upon 4. RA upon RB is 1 by 4, but we have to write RB upon RA. So MA upon MB is 3 by 1. So here we come. So here this is equal to 3 by 1, and RA upon RB is 1 by 4. So this becomes 4 by 1. So this becomes 12. So the ratio what we have in this case, TEA, the ratio, the total energy, TEA upon TEB is 12 by 1, 12 is to 1. So here answer what we have is D. D is the answer in this case. Next is question number 8. An artificial satellite is placed into a circular orbit around Earth at such a height that it always remains above a definite place on surface of Earth. Its height from the surface of Earth is. Now this whatever is given to us regarding the artificial satellite, it is an example of a satellite which is called as geostationary satellite. So what is the property of geostationary satellite? The geostationary satellite, it appears like, suppose if I am drawing, this is the surface of the Earth. So if there is a satellite at this point, so a person standing here, okay, he will observe the satellite, it is not moving with respect to him, okay. So as the Earth spins, around its axis, this satellite also moves in the same way. So with respect to the motion of the person, the satellite also moves in the same direction. So this satellite appears to be stationary to this particular observer. So this is called as a geostationary satellite. So the height, if we calculate the height of a geostationary satellite is 36,000 km above the surface of the Earth. So this satellite is used for communication purposes.